Namna nimeelezea nyinyi nyuma, ni muhimu sana kazi ambayo tunafanya kwa Afrika na ulimwengu dunia. Ya kwanza, hizi terrorists ambao tunapigana nao hapa ninasumbua nyumbani. Tumepata hizi terrorists ya ADF mingi hapa sana. Kumbe wana train hapa. Wale sasa hivi wanasumbua Nigeria, Boko Haram, wana train nao hapa. Yote wanatoka hapa. So kazi ambayo ninafanya iko muhimu sana. Alafu ingine muhimu ambao jana rais na CLF amesema, mchunge IED. Namna tumeshinda hawa. Wanaenda kukuja na uniform ya TFG kurupuka katikati yetu. Platoon commanders, company commanders, section commanders, kila askari muhakikishe kwamba unachunga mwezi yako. Hii ni sehemu ya undugu kubwa sana hapa Somalia. Hii ni sehemu ya urafiki kubwa sana Somalia. Lakini adui kusongeleza defense, muhakikisha mumuua adui. Tuko pamoja? Yes, sir. Any al-Shabaab who tries to attack us must die. There is no mediation on that.
So our aim is to capture Fugoye. We're trying our best to make sure that we accomplish that mission by today. Part of Battle Group 8 goes and cuts off Marka Road, and then the entire Battle Group 9 proceeds to Fugoye, captures the bridge and crosses the Fugoye bridge. That is our objective.
AMISOM captures Fugoye and pushes forward into the surrounding region.
Our intention is to get the whole of Lower Shabelle. That is Middle Shabelle and Lower Shabelle. These are areas of Mecca, Afogoy and Balad. And subsequently connect to Baidoa. This is the mission. Of course, we had been getting a lot of al-Shabaab resistance around all these other areas, but we have taken them on. Right now, as I talk, al-Shabaab is on the run, and we are pursuing them. Motive is to pursue al-Shabaab until we get them. The strongest message I can give to them is the Somalians who are with al-Shabaab, they still have room to come out and join other brothers of theirs for the development of this country. But to the foreign terrorists, it's very unfortunate. They do not have any room. And then secondly, they will not deny the people of Somalia freedom or happiness. They must know that the African Union has a mandate to ensure that we pacify Somalia like any other part on the continent. So terrorism is not going to be accepted on this continent.
As AMISOM advances into regions beyond Mogadishu and its outer areas, troop numbers are bolstered by reinforcements from Djibouti and Kenya. The Djiboutian contingent deploys to the region of Hiran and Beledweyne.
If you see Somalia, geographically, it's a large country. And in the region, when you talk about the Hiran region, only there were 800 men on Shabab at that time. So it's one of the stronghold of the Shabab is Hiran actually. But when we stationed it and a strong force there, they were not happy. And that's why they tried to push us back here. But actually they have quite losses there, and then they couldn't attempt it again to attack that position.
And further south, the Kenyan forces target the al-Shabaab stronghold of Kismayo. The journey to Somalia's southernmost city is met by heavy resistance, mostly in the form of IEDs.
During our advance from Afmado to Kismayo, we managed to interact with 21 IEDs. There have been improvised explosive devices that have been placed in some buildings in Kismayo. Suspected are the Kismayo police station, the Kismayo hospital, and some government house. That particular IED is capable of destroying a military vehicle carrying around 30 to 40 soldiers. So it's pretty dangerous because if you lose a vehicle and 40 soldiers in one hit, that would be disastrous.
The Kenyan forces defuse and destroy IEDs as they make their way further south.
We have managed to liberate quite a number of areas, and we started now advancing towards liberation of Kismayo. We had planned the beach landing of troops from the sea as a surprise to al-Shabaab because they never expected us to approach Kismayo from the sea.
This is the first amphibious operation to have been taken by any country in Africa. So it was a surprise, and therefore al-Shabaab melted away into the bush, somewhere into the villages.
The moment the troops landed, al-Shabaab were confused as to what is happening. And immediately they realized that there are troops who are also coming from the northwestern part. They started running away from the city.
It was a huge success, and to a large extent, it demonstrated the professionalism that the Kenyans have had. The Kenyans really did not even have any casualty suffered during that particular operation. So it is really a professional mission that was undertaken at Kismayo. Working with the Ras Kamboni Brigade and the Somali National Security Forces, together with the people, that has worked very well because these particular people understand the region very well, understand the communities very well, understand the clan dynamics very well. And I think these are lessons that are very critical, that you must be able to work with the people who are the hosts.
As AMISOM pushes into new areas, it meets a population ravaged by war, drought, and a lack of humanitarian aid. Under al-Shabaab, humanitarian agencies were barred from areas under their control. AMISOM provides aid by sharing its supplies, a move designed to support, but also win the hearts and minds of the local population.
Whenever you're operating anywhere as UPDF, even at home, even outside, our first priority is to help the population around you. If you get the population around you, you're supposed to give them medical care. You're supposed to share the food you have with them if they don't have food. So it's just part of the army. It's part of our army that we always do that.
When we reached here in September, there was a flood. When they see the people dying, they say we cannot stay behind and then see it. So actually they want to, and they take risk and perils for their life to save people.
Here in Dobli, we have assisted the civilians in reconstruction of the hospitals. We provide them with medical care. We assist them to transport drugs in those areas where these drugs are required.
When your brother falls down, so you help him to stand up. When he's sick, you give him some medication, and when he needs something, you are there for him to help him every time.
We didn't look at those differences or humanitarian agencies where we didn't see them. If they were there, oh yes, they could have done what they could, but they were not there anyway. So for us, what took us first there was to save lives, and that was the most important.
I remember there was time there was no water, but I was giving water and treatment, and then they were complaining. They were complaining why we're doing that the food and the medicine they have is only for AMISOM, not for civilians. Then my argument is, why are we here? Why are we in Somalia? What are we doing here? If we cannot help the population, then we pack our bags and go back to our respective countries. We are here to help the civilians. So the little we have, we should share it with them. When I was operating there, I decided to open health centers. Women could come as far as Ethiopia. Can you imagine? For treatment.
She's a pregnant woman. The bombers has landed her home. And many people is there from the dying, the family, children, like father lost. And some many people, because also she have one child, one kid died.
Our doctors were conducting very sophisticated operations. They conducted very, very difficult operations, which really won the hearts of many Somalians.
I think that is really what helped us to stay up to date in Somalia. Strategic relationship with the population. Having the population on your side. That is it.
As security improves across Somalia, headway is made in the political arena. But Somalia must now embrace a new constitution, select members of parliament, and elect a new speaker and a president. Progress in such a short space of time is unprecedented.
If anything, Somalia had the most democratic elections, to be sincere. The election is very transparent. They vote there and then, the winner is seen, and then they shook hands. And the elected president is being led into State House by the former president. To me, I thought that was something very encouraging.
taariikhda Soomaaliya inay bogdaaba uga qornaan doonaan waxaan sidoo kale iyo si lamid si weyn aad iyo aad u weyn ugu mahadcelinayaa madaxweynihii hore ee Jamhuuriyadda Soomaaliya Sheekh Shariif Sheekh Ahmed.
As AMISOM continues its operations right across Somalia, and with a new government in place, a cautious sense of optimism prevails.
Even the conditions of living have really changed in Somalia. And I don't know whether I've been in Mogadishu, you can see a number of buildings coming. Even the airport is working even at night. So many flights here and there, which used not to be the case. I saw Somalis now going back home. Somalis are going back home. This is great for Somalia, great for us all, great for Africa, great for the world.
As you see a traffic jam in the city, good buildings mushrooming, a lot of ships anchoring in the ocean, waiting to be offloaded. Really, it shows you that there's a change and Mogadishu is experiencing the peace.
AMISOM expands its role to encompass capacity building, including the training of Somali civil servants, a move designed to empower government institutions.
We have to focus on the capacity building. All these institutions, the military, the police, the judiciary, all this. It's now about getting the Somalis own their country.
In 2012, Nigeria joins AMISOM by sending some of its police officers to train and refresh the skills of Somali law enforcement agencies.
When you arrive at a crime scene as a police officer, what is the first thing you think about? What is the first thing? It's quite amazing that despite the 21 years of non-governance, that some of them are still quite experienced, and the other ones are catching up fastly. And I'm quite sure if this process, this democratic process continues for a long time, within a short period, the Somali police force will be one of the best in Africa.
AMISOM also trains the Somali National Armed Forces in preparation to eventually hand over all security operations in Somalia.
AMISOM will not be here for all these years. So that's why we are training the Somali forces. We are mentoring them, teaching them how to go about with the job, And eventually, our end state is to be able to thin out and leave them continue in securing the country.
Every day they are growing, they are taking shape. They have developed structures like that of professional militaries, their deployments, they have a logistic system, things are taking shape.
With an increased security in Somalia, by and large provided by AMISOM, it is now the job of the government to provide for its people.
You need to provide health centers. You need to provide water points. You need to give service deliveries so that you win the hearts and minds of the people. Not until we have done all this and the people have developed a sense of belonging to the central government, then we can say we have mission success.
Behind this one, 2 steps.
I thank AMISOM and the leadership of AMISOM and the way they organized this training. This training is vital for Mogadishu. It was quite impossible, a city of 2.5 million population without fire trucks. We know it's an expensive thing to run a fire department, but we will try very hard to meet all the challenges and all requirements of this project in order to be successful.
AMISOM is working with the new Somali federal government to help rehabilitate disengaged fighters and reintegrate them back into society.
Actually, if you see it weekly, we get an average size, we would get 10 or 15 disengaging fighters. We keep them and then we try to find out their family. And if there is an elders in this city which can take care of these young guys, we give them back. But if there is a center of rehabilitation, it will be good for these guys to keep it and to train them.
Shabaab now is a spent force. I don't think they will come back in Somalia. Somalis, whether it's Puntland or Somaliland or the TFG, the state is getting stronger. The state is getting better and better.
The history should remember African Union force as a force that went in when everybody else had given up on Somalia, as a force that turned the equation around, as a force that contributed tremendously towards the stabilization of Somalia, which had become a failed state.
I believe the African Union has every reason to feel proud. This is one political and military exercise that we've taken up almost on our own and won for the good of that country, for the good of all of us.